the skyline. We always knew you were the better half of our good times.
Hello and welcome back to Friday Reads, where we help you find your next read. I'm Jill.
And I'm Julie, and today's topic is Amish books. We've got some new authors, or we've got some new books by popular authors. So Jill, what's your first pick?
All right. My first pick is from Mindy Steele. This is the first in a series called The Heart of the Amish. This was published in 2023. It's called The Flower Quilter. Barbara breaks from Amish tradition to express her artistry. Full of faith, hope, and romance, this new series takes you into the heart of Amish country. Barbara Schwartz was born in a family of quilters, but she would rather eat dirt than partake in another quilting frolic to sew on another binding. When her parents send her to Indiana to help her grandmother in her quilting shop, she finds herself amongst a very different community. It's only one summer, and then she will be back in Kentucky where she belongs. Melvin Brotager's world stopped 6 years ago when his parents died. Now when his only means of providing his widowed sister and his niece is threatened, Melvin finds his landscaping business disappearing too. When spring delivers a newcomer who is immune to his salty moods, Melvin does something he has never done before. He accepts help. What blooms in the last thing Barbara would ever expect and everything Melvin would ever want. So, The Flower Quilter by Mindy Steele, who is an author I'm not too familiar with. I think she's written some, but maybe some of you who like Amish books have not heard of her and want to give her a shot.
And my book is A is for Amish by Shelley Shepard Gray. This was published back in June of last year. And it's a new series, actually, for her about 4 siblings who take a genuine leap of faith when they move to their grandparents' farm in rural Ohio and decide to become Amish. It explores the relationship between Amish and English cultures through the lens of this family. The Amish Again series is perfect for fans of Beverly Lewis, Suzanne Woods Fisher, and Charlotte Hubbard, and anyone else who enjoys uplifting stories about faith, family, love, and the simple life. In this book, siblings Martin, Kelsey, Beth, and Johnny are as different as can be, but they have one thing in common. They're all longing to reinvent their lives. Raised by their divorced, lapsed Amish father and English mother, they only know real stability and a sense of family when visiting their old order grandparents, Josiah and Sylvia, in a peaceful small town, Millersburg, Ohio. Now the 4 want to try living with them and joining their faith, much to their grandparents' surprise. So, read A is for Amish and check out how this all works out for those 4 siblings.
So is that the first?
Yep.
Does she have a B then?
I'm wondering. She's starting out with A is for Amish.
So my next one is by Kathleen Fuller, who is also an author I'm not too familiar with, but I think she's got a few. This is the first in a Amish of Marigold series, The Courtship Plan. Finding a husband is serious business, and serious business requires serious planning. Charity Raver is one of many single women who came to Birch Creek, Ohio, with one goal in mind: secure a husband from among the desperate bachelors a newspaper advertising claimed inhabited the town. Even though that claim proved to be nothing more than a cruel prank, Charity is still hopeful that her happy ending might be within reach when she's set up on a date with Jesse Broninger. And until Jesse not so gently shares with her that he has no interest in a relationship with anyone, and especially not with her. 1 year later, Charity is working as a caretaker for a kind elderly English woman in a nearby town of Marigold. She's working hard on a brand new courtship plan, a plan that absolutely does not involve Jesse Broninger. But when he moves next door and is made aware of her scheming, Charity vows to prove that her plan is foolproof. Meanwhile, Jesse is sure she'll make a fool of herself, and for some reason, he's not willing to let that happen. This stubborn bachelor and determined bachelorette will soon learn that their plans rarely work out as expected, but God's plan always will. For this is the first in a sweet Amish romance series in the Marigold. And it was published in 2023, so The Courtship Plan.
I have another book that was published back in 2024. This one came out in April, and this is part of the Surprised by Love series. This is Dating an Amish Flirt by Rachel J. Good. Between heavenly homemade bread, irresistible desserts, and stunning crafts, Lancaster, Pennsylvania's Green Valley Farmers Market provides a warm-hearted community and loves surprising possibilities. With her sweet nature and delicate beauty, Rachel Glick attracts boys like bees to a flower, despite her best attempts to discourage them. Downhearted since her beloved brother's death And isolated as the sole caretaker to her invalid mother, Rachel would welcome the friendship of other girls. But her unfair reputation as a flirt leaves her snubbed. Yet she's only ever loved Josh Yoder, her childhood best friend. Why he distanced himself from her in 8th grade, she'll never understand. And now, though he's been a blessing doing repairs around her farm, he's courting another girl, and there is no going back. Josh has been in love with Rachel since he was a boy, but he can never forgive himself for hurting her or for the reasons behind it. He can only do his best to lighten her burden and hope others see her good heart. Still, the sight of her fills him with fresh longing, much as he tries to focus on his girlfriend and forget the past. Yet when jealousy flares, igniting trouble, they both must look to their faith to do what's right and bring joyous futures for everyone involved. Dating an Amish flirt.
An Amish flirt.
What
What a thing to be accused of.
title.
So this next one, this is by Anne Blackburn. These kind of appealed to me. She's also got this Ruth's Ginger Snap Surprise. They have cats on them. So Amish stories with cats, I think. So I'm all in for this. Mary's Calico Hope. This was published in June 2024. Mary Yoder is content despite the challenges thrown her way. If God wills it, Mary Yoder will just do it, even if that means using crutches for the rest of your life. She was badly injured in a buggy accident as a child. Still, she is content living in the dotty house connected to her parents' farmhouse and with her work weaving baskets and raising specialty roosters whose feathers she uses to make excellent trout lures. She is truly happy at 29, but she wouldn't mind finding a husband if the Lord wills it. Along comes Reuben King, a Mennonite doctor. They are attracted to one another, but how could they ever be together? She's a baptized Amish woman, so it seems impossible. Also, he wants her to have surgery to improve her mobility and lessen her day-to-day pain. She's sick and tired of surgeries, but if God wills it, she'll do it, and just maybe there will be a way for these two unlikely souls to connect. So, Mary's Calico Hope, which has nothing to do with the cat, but...
My third pick is Who is Mary? An Amish Romance by Linda Byler. This was published in August of last year, and this is the first book in a new Amish romance series. With her flaming red hair and her inquisitive personality, Mary is a bit of an anomaly in her Amish community in western New York. She tries to join in the fun with the other youth as they gather for hymn singings and games, but she finds it all rather dull. None of the young men are interested in her, and she's even less interested in them. With each passing year, she feels more and more out of place and stifled by life as a misfit in a rural Amish community. When her aunt comes for a visit and suggests her return to Lancaster with her to help manage her bakery, Mary sees her opportunity for the change she's desperately craving. But her parents forbid her to go. Her father, convinced that leaving the family for the busy life of Lancaster will lead her down a path of destruction. Mary's deeply distressed, wanting to honor her parents' wishes, and also knows she can't stay trapped in their isolated community forever. At 21, she's old enough to decide for herself, and yet it's painful to be at odds with her father. Will she go, despite her father's dire warnings? If she stays, will she just continue to disappoint her parents, asking too many questions and never finding a man to marry? One thing is sure, before she can even think about dating, she needs to figure out who she is and where she belongs. And that might require a boldness she didn't even know she possessed. So who is Mary? Kind of a young girl finding her way.
Cool. So my next one is by Kathleen Fuller. And this is the first in a series as well. This is an Amish mail-order bride. Double dose of love. Prepare for a double dose of romance and fun when two sets of Amish twins find love. Identical brothers Zeb and Zeke Bontrager aren't looking for love. They have their hands full with a new horse farm, half-finished ranch house, and a wild colt. Thanks to Zeke's hasty business dealings, now Zeb must contend with Zeke's bad decisions, hidden debts, and tendency to avoid responsibility, which threaten their good standing in the Birch Creek Amish community. When a newspaper ad prompts Darla King to travel to Birch Creek in search of a husband, her identical twin, Amanda, promises her parents she'll convince Darla to come home. After all, Amanda is a responsible and reliable one. She's always protected Darla, who acts on impulse and trusts people too easily. The sisters' close relationship is strained as Darla asserts her independence and Amanda grapples with regrets her past and longings of her own heart. When Zev and Amanda join forces to protect Darla and Zeke from each other, none of them can possibly predict the outcome, as all four come face to face with their highest hopes and deepest insecurities in the first installment of the Amish Mail Order Bride series. So there's more to follow after this one if you love it.
A double dose of love. My fourth pick comes from Kelly Irvin, and this is Matters of the Heart, and this was published in July of last year. He's the community's jokester auctioneer. She's a serious caregiver for her siblings, and she also works at the local plant nursery. What future could they have together? Declan Miller has always had feelings for Bethel King. Back when they were in school, she was the smartest girl in class, and in his opinion, by far the prettiest. Now, the two of them are in their 20s, and while the attraction is still there, Declan is as hesitant as ever to let Bethel know how he feels. His corny jokes and his wisecracks cover a heart that's afraid of rejection. Bethel can't deny Declan is nice, funny, hardworking, and pleasing to the eye, a perfect match if you asked any plain girl in the area, but marrying Bethel would also mean marrying into her family. Two of her younger brothers have a rare form of muscular dystrophy, and her sister Claire is now showing signs of having it as well. Fiercely loyal and nurturing, Bethel has promised herself her siblings will always come first. With a good chance that she carries the gene and could pass it on to her children, she has tried to convince herself marriage and family just aren't in the cards for her. Then, a devastating diagnosis of his own turns Declan's world upside down, and he looks to Bethel for understanding, compassion, and a realistic outlook. As they share their dreams and fears and they grow together in faith, a bond begins to develop between them. Perhaps their combination of optimistic extrovert and a thoughtful introvert really isn't such a bad thing. Perhaps it's actually a part of God's beautiful design for them. Matters of the Heart by Kelly Irvin.
Nice. So this last one's a little different, and this isn't the first in the series. I wasn't able to get the first in the series. This is by Dana Lynn, Her Secret Amish Past. This is part of the Amish Country Justice series, and it is a suspense. It's love-inspired suspense, so kind of Amish romance with suspense involved. So that's kind of fun. Stolen from the Amish with no memory of her past. When her mother is shot as they flee down an unknown threat, Jocelyn Graham discovers her entire life is a lie. Not only is she adopted, but she's the target of armed assailants, and she doesn't know why. With an old doll as the only clue of her true identity, Joss needs Sergeant Steve Beck's help to find her truth before the deadly criminal ring buries the remaining evidence. Her.
Oh my.
Courage, danger, and faith. So, Her Secret Amish Past. If you want a little something different in your Amish romance, this might be the one for
A
you.
suspense one. My last pick is a very popular Amish author. It's Wanda Brunstetter, and this is Letters of Wisdom, which was published in March of last year. It's from the Friendship Letters series. Doretta Schwartz has always enjoyed writing letters and feels her letters can be a bit of a ministry to her friends. In this series, exchanging letters that contain open and honest feelings and struggles, too, helps Doretta and two of her best friends through the darkest challenges of their lives. Irma Miller thought having a family of her own would bring her joy and a sense of accomplishment, but she struggles with memories of the abuse she suffered as a child at the hand of her stepfather. When she became physically and emotionally abusive to her own children, she reaches out to her friend Doretta for prayer and wisdom. But Irma may find herself at an even darker emotional place before she will admit she needs professional help to heal her past traumas. Will Doretta's letters of wisdom help Irma and her family, or will too much be broken or ever be repaired? So, kind of a letters and prayers between friends.
And it's so new, it has a little sticker on
Yeah,
it.
so it came out last March.
So if you're a fan of Amish fiction, and I know a lot of you are, it was one of the surprises of working in a library is how much people like Amish fiction. And we hope we helped you find some new stuff that you can enjoy.
Yeah, there's popular authors that had new books out last year and some new authors to discover. You can find our videos on the Kimberly Public Library website, YouTube channel, and our Facebook page. And until next time, we thank you for watching. Bye!